Greetings, I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, so excited and wanting to offer my greatest appreciation to the Addiction Forum for giving me the award of the Legislator of the Year. But we're in this together. We're in this together because we care and know that the false policies of yesteryear regarding drug abuse and substance abuse were wrong, doubly wrong. I'm a member of the Addiction and Substance Abuse Caucus, whose mindset is to ensure that the bad ways of yesteryear and how we treated those who are addicted are altered forever. I chair the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security of the House Judiciary Committee, and I can assure you that our focus has to do with ensuring that we decriminalize those individuals who become addicted through no fault of their own. Way before the opioid crisis, we knew that there was heroin and cocaine and crack. How unfortunate it was that what was an addiction, what was an act of inequity in society, what was neighborhoods that were never treated with respect and provided the resources and encouragement to help young people get out of what they were in. All those individuals ultimately became the fodder for criminalization and the national prison system. State and federal prisons racked up young people from all over the nation. And there they were with mandatory minimums, 25 years, 15 years, and above, because of addiction or the sale of small amounts or the idea of drugs being used to survive. Opioid addiction came. I had the greatest empathy and sympathy, but we saw the distinction and difference in how it was not criminalized. We welcomed that new trend, that new attitude, to be able to give help to those who are addicted and to find the culprit who was providing those opioids, first as pain medicine and ultimately addicted large parts of our country. We changed our attitudes. That is why I am very grateful to see the Addiction Forum focusing on all forms of addiction and realizing that it is not those who become addicted that should be the victim, but we should seek out those who created this atmosphere of which these individuals are victimized. That is why in 2007, I was one of the early members of Congress who decided that it was important to remove the burden of the distinction between crack, cocaine, and to move it to 1-to-1 versus 100-to-1, 100 times more of an offense or criminalization with crack than it was with cocaine. Can anyone explain that? We worked hard until 2010, until President Obama signed the Fair Sentencing Act, of which I was present because of the work that I had done. But guess what? They didn't make it retroactive. We still had work to do. And guess what? We are still suffering from not having a comprehensive understanding of what addiction is. Persons don't need to be criminalized. They need to receive treatment. And those readily available drugs need not be available to these individuals. That is why the Addiction Forum's work is so important. It provides education and advocacy that we can do better as legislators from states to the federal government. I'm glad to have been part of the Fair Sentencing Act that was passed in 2018 that would assure that we had the kind of addressing of those who are incarcerated, who could be rehabilitated, and to ensure that the idea of the Fair Sentencing Act and the act of the First Step Act could work together. I'm excited to work with my colleagues and to be able to move that legislation forward. But it took many of us, and I thank the sponsors of the legislation because they worked with so many of us. Again, we have to keep working, and we have to be assured that we never go that journey again. That's why I'm excited as well that the MORE Act came out of my subcommittee led by Chairman Nadler, which is to decriminalize marijuana and to be able to move forward and ensure that there is not only a recognition of not criminalizing marijuana, conflicting with state laws, but also to provide funding for social justice organizations that would clearly provide the relief that we needed. It is important as we move forward that you, the Addiction Forum, continue your work in collaborating with legislators. Your voice is needed. It is so important to follow the words of Dr. King, and injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And then, of course, to be reminded that if you see something and it is wrong, then turn around and make it right. I'm delighted that you've understood the very basics of our country, which is that we organize to form a more perfect union. That is what we will see when we address the unfairness of drug prosecuting and criminalization. And that is what we'll see, a better nation, a nation that has been formed to create a more perfect union when America comes together with all of us being treated with dignity. Thank you for your work. I'm honored and humbled by this award, and congratulations for continuing to serve.